Hello, this is Candace Stewart Finley from Empowered Whole Being Foundation. I'm on live today in the Simulcast to talk about the celery cleanse and how it affects and supports not only the physical cleansing, but also the energetic body. And this is important to understand because it may, if this information isn't clearly communicated, I feel that people doing this cleanse may not be prepared for some of the reactions. And I want to talk about that today. So first, let's just look at the celery cleanse, just the basic protocol. And it's basically 16 ounces of cold pressed organic celery juice. And you drink that first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Wait 30 minutes minimum, but that's good, 30 minutes before eating anything. And then there's a picture here of the book. And sorry, I got interrupted. There's a picture of the book by Anthony Williams. And I just wanted to point that out. I have the audio and I also have the ebook of that. There's a lot of good information in there. And however, like everything else I've researched about the celery cleanse, it does not address well, actually, let me see the back. He touches on it ever so slightly about the cleansing on an energetic level. He talks about it as a way of emotions, but I want to talk about it even deeper than that. So that's the basic protocol. 16 ounces cold pressed organic celery juice first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Not diluted in any way, nothing added to it, just the pure cold pressed organic celery juice. That's really key, that nothing is added to it, because it's the components in his Anthony William calls them the sodium cluster salts that have so much trace minerals and other effects of cleansing out the toxic waste buildup of various we call it like heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, acid waste, on and so on and on. So that's one aspect of it. And let's keep in mind that all of that waste material that interferes with the function of the body is actually, and how it's placed in the body and its effect is determined by what I call the blocking program. So the blocking program has its own, this is happening unconsciously, has its own blocking beliefs of unworthiness, no value, fear of annihilation. There's a lot going on there. So when you're doing the celery juice cleanse protocol, it's going to bring up, not as it dislodges the form in the more contracted physical part of the body, those waste materials represent the blocking energy, just in a contracted, more solid form. When we release that and it disperses from the body, it is also dispersing those fear-based blocking beliefs. So fear, anger, sadness, all of these emotions can come to the surface while you're doing the celery cleanse. And I think it's important to know that that's normal. It's going to happen. It's supposed to happen, because you're clearing out your physical and energetic body simultaneously of anything that's not really supporting the feeling of wellness, of feeling good, of feeling whole, of feeling complete and connected. So be prepared for that. Also, too, when you do the celery cleanse, there will be days, because it's where you experience all kinds of changes with your GI tract. And this is good because it's flushing out wastewater, it's flushing out all the toxins. So there may be days where you need to stay in the bathroom. I've had that experience without getting into detail on it, but I just want to say this is normal. This is how the body is purging the toxic waste. And please do not be put off by this, because this is just part of the cycle of the cleansing. There was one day, actually it was my 15th day on the cleanse, that a Saturday morning I woke up and I felt exactly the same as I had felt when I had taken Halcyon. Halcyon is, I believe is how you pronounce it. Halcyon is a pharmaceutical that I was given by my dentist to, like, it's a like an anesthetic kind of a pharmaceutical. And before I had oral surgery, and it's very distinctive. It's very disorienting. It's like kind of being on some sort of hallucinogen. Anyway, I woke up that morning and I could feel it. It was just amazing, and that I was excited about that, because that was an indication that whatever had been in the liver was now being dispersed and expelled from the body, which is fantastic. So things like that can happen, especially if you in the past have had taken antidepressants or a lot of antibiotics or just any kind of pharmaceuticals. It's going to help the liver cleanse those residue out of itself. And this is so important because the liver is such a vital part of our function, not only physically but emotionally. There's a lot of, we've all, Chinese medicine and several things talk about how the liver is a seat of anger and all of this. Well, there's a lot to it, there's a lot more to it than that. However, this is normal to be aware of anger coming up. And I want to stress the importance of staying neutral when that happens. It's not, the feelings will be there, but they're not really from your now moment. Those feelings are from the residue that was energetic residue that has been stored in your body through different heavy metals, all those different energetic experiences. That's what's being released. So take a breath when that happens, step back from it, calm yourself, breathe. Remember to breathe in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Breathe through it, ask for clarity on what's being released so that you can see more with more understanding what it is that used to be stored there that you're now flushing out through the celery cleanse. The celery cleanse is an amazing protocol to do some real deep cleaning. I'm on this, I think, is my 40th day, I think, and forgot to count again before I came on. And I have noticed so many changes, and from physical things like when your liver is compromised, your nails, your fingernails can be ridged, different kinds of circumstances. And that was true for my left thumbnail, was severely ridged. And since I've been on the protocol, it's softening, it's smoothing out already. And that's pretty fascinating to experience. It's a good indicator of the liver becoming more clear. And with that, I've noticed there's less resistance to, as I've worked through releasing these unconscious embedded blocking beliefs and their correlating fear, anger, connected energy, I have found that there's less resistance to feeling good, to doing things that do feel good for myself. And I think that's really important, to have that self-compassion experience. So just to wrap it up, again, celery juice cleanse, organic celery juice, 16 ounces, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And guarantee you're going to have a lot of shifting going on. And the main thing is to ride through it, breathe through it. Reach out if you have questions, or at some point, I'm happy to do, especially in the empath support group, we could do a live just in the group to talk about that with people who are in the midst of doing this right now. And any support that I can offer, I just want to say, for those of us who identify as intuitive empaths and are on the path of really taking full ownership of how we feel, this will help clear out a lot of that static interference of our unconscious blocking energy that's stored in the physical body. It's like a residual energy. It's not just from this lifetime, it's from multiple lifetimes. And the celery juice cleanse helps with all of that. So in closing, I'm just going to mention my book, which I had talked about how I was going to do a 4th edition, and I've been guided instead to write a different book. I'm going to keep this book as it is. This is the 3rd edition, and oops, there we go. And it's available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all that, in both an ebook and print. So I'm not doing a 4th edition of this book because I've decided that I'm going to be writing a book more about the new psychology and laying out a new paradigm for understanding understanding our consciousness more from a quantum point of view, and more from this system that I have been working with for the last few decades, as it becomes more and more clear of how things actually function. And so this will be coming out later this year. I'll announce that more later. But this book I do have currently, it is going to stay as it is. And I'll be doing the 2nd book with much more in depth about the psychology of consciousness and the singularity paradigm, meaning that we're already one. And that'll have a lot of good stuff in it too. And I'll probably talk about the celery cleanse a little bit in there as well. And then, of course, my website has a lot of good information, and you see it scrolling at the bottom there. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about any of this or any of the other things I work on. And I'll be back on. I'm going to get back into saddle here again of doing weekly broadcasts on Thursday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific. Please do join in. Love to get feedback, and apologies for having to do this twice. I had to stop the first simulcast and restart because it was freezing up and stuff. So I look forward to connecting with you next Thursday, and until then, joy be with you.